The Eminence in Shadow episode 12, and what a great episode this was. We learned a lot of new things in this episode, probably the episode in where we learned the most thing out of this arc, because I think this was the episode that was all about that, about explaining things to us about the whole arc, about the whole things that are happening in this arc. Because like I said, I think this is what the episode is about. Not only about seeing Sid, Alpha, Alexa interact with each other, but also about giving us information about what exactly is happening, because until this point we have learned information about the general feeling, the general sense, well, the general story, but we didn't really know the details. And I think this was the episode that we learned those details. I think there's still things missing after this episode, but for the most part I think the puzzle is now being built and it is almost complete. So yeah, in this episode our main heroes or main protagonists, whatever you want to call them, went into the sanctuary. Apparently the lights that appeared in the last episode were a door. I was actually wondering why it was shaped really weird, you know, like a door in the last episode, but it is because it was actually a door. So our main protagonist went there, Sid, Alpha, and all the other girls, and also Alexia and Oriana actually stepped there. So yeah, that was actually pretty interesting. And also I really like how Oriana, Alexia interacted with the girls from Shadow Garden, because I actually didn't think we were going to see that anytime soon or even ever, because I actually thought they were going to be always separated, always apart, you know, the girls acting in one way and Alexa and Oriana acting in another way, never coming together and really knowing each other. But no, that was not the case, because like I said, in this episode we see them interact. Actually, we see them learn information from Alpha and the other girls. We see how they see the other girls fight. So yeah, I mean, they actually learn a lot of new things about not only the girls but Shadow Garden itself. I guess they don't know that much still about Sid himself, or I should say Shadow himself, but yeah, now they know a little bit more about Shadow Garden and the girls. And on the other side we also have Sid also stepping into the door. I actually like how he didn't even disguise as Shadow when talking to the witch. I like how he didn't even disguise himself as Shadow. He simply went there as Sid. She didn't even question him or anything. It was all natural. She was just, you know, talking to him as she already knew he was Shadow. So yeah, that was actually also pretty interesting. So apparently this witch is tied up. We can see her in that seat all tied up, and well, she has to get out of there. I don't know if she's a bad witch or a good witch, because we don't really see that much of her in this episode, and I mean that much of her personality. I would assume she's good, but I mean, anything is possible. So yeah, apparently she's going to go away when she leaves. I don't know what she will do when she goes away, but yeah, she said she will vanish when she goes away. Maybe she will join Shadow Garden, who knows. But yeah, I mean, now Sid and the witch are trying to basically get away, leave the sanctuary, because they are sort of trapped. I don't know how the other girls, Oriana and Alex, are going to get out, because they don't seem really worried about that. They're just on their mission to, you know, finding more about the Diablos Cult. They're not really worried of how to get out of there. Maybe they learn everything about the Diablos Cult. They will eventually do the same thing that Sid and the witch is doing, but I don't think they will have to do it, because by the time they defeat the Archbishop, I think by that time Sid and the witch will have already done that. So yeah, but now going back to Alpha and the other girls, so they go into the sanctuary with the Archbishop. Oriana and Alexia follow them, and basically they go into this room where it's filled with memories, because that is basically what the sanctuary is, a space with memories. And so they go into this room filled with memories, and there they find the hero Olivier, somehow descending to Alpha, because almost at the end of the episode she admits herself that she has the blood in her veins of the hero Olivier. I don't know how exactly. I don't know if that is implying that she's the hero Olivier. I don't think so, but I mean, somehow she said she was related to the hero Olivier. I wish they would explain that a little bit more, or maybe I missed something. Maybe it was actually explained and I missed something. But yeah, she said almost at the end of the episode that she has the blood of the hero Olivier in her. That is why we can see that she resembles the hero Olivier a lot, because I mean, they are basically almost the same person. There are a little difference here and there, but they're almost the same person. So yeah, she's somehow the descendant of her. And yeah, we learn a little bit more about what exactly the Diablos Cult is doing, because Alpha has done her investigation, has done her research, and we learned that yeah, it was actually fact, it was actually true that the hero Olivier actually cut off the arm, or the left arm I think it was, of Diablos. So yeah, that was actually true. The reason I say this is because when you have anything involving the Diablos Cult, you should really doubt any story that comes out of it. But this story was actually true. The hero Olivier actually cut off the arm, or the left arm of Diablo. So So because of that, they did a lot of experiments with the arm. For example, it is explained that they had a lot of children experimented on with the cells or the blood of Diablo, trying to infuse these cells, the blood, into them to make them more powerful. But because of this, a lot of children, a lot of people didn't actually survive the transfusion and they died. I actually don't think that children that were there are the same that are in the Shadow Garden for several reasons. For example, the first one is that those memories that are in the laboratory took actually place a long time ago. For example, it was explained by the witch that she was probably tied up for maybe 1,000 years or more. So I guess the same would apply to the laboratory, or maybe a little bit less. But yeah, it's been a long time since those memories happened. So yeah, that is one thing. Unless they can survive in that sort of blob state for a long time, but I don't think so. So yeah, and also because it was actually explained in the episode that they actually died. The children that couldn't resist the transfusion actually did die. They didn't survive in some sort of way or some sort of shape or state. No, they actually did die. So yeah, there is actually that too. But who knows? I mean, anything is possible in the Eminence in Shadow. So, but going back to the whole Diablos Cult, so they had an objective with the Hero Olivier and with the arm. So what they wanted to do was basically make themselves immortal, and by doing that, in the process, they created, I guess you can say, a sub pill which grants you a lot of power, which is one of the pills we have seen until this moment. A lot of villains have used it, mainly lesser villains, those that are not in the Knights of Round, those that are not part of the 12 Knights of Round. They are the ones that actually use this lesser pill, which, like I said, was a side product, a byproduct of trying to do the real objective, which was to create this really red pill, this really bright pill that actually grants immortality. So yeah, that was basically the whole Diablos Cult objective with the Diablos arm, trying to achieve to make this sort of real powerful capsule or whatever you want to call it. And they sort of did, but at the same time they didn't, because I mean, they did actually achieve the capsule, the pill, but to a limited extent, because they can only take one each year, and also they can only produce 12 each year. That is why the Knights of Round are only composed of 12 people, because those are the 12 people that can actually take that pill. So I would assume that the Knights of Round is composed by people that have lived since long ago. So yeah, they probably are really, really old. So yeah, the Knights of Round are these powerful people that take the pill each year. And I would suppose that the pill not only grants immortality, but also grants a power boost, just like the lesser pill, maybe with less side effects or something like that. So that is basically what the Diablos Cult did with the whole children and with the whole arm and everything like that. So yeah, it was actually now finally explained what this whole arc was about, and I actually didn't expect it to go this way. I mean, I say I didn't expect it to go this way, but at the same time, I must admit that I actually didn't know even where it was going to go. So yeah, there's that, because there was so much mystery, there was so much still unknown that I actually didn't actually know where it was going to go. So yeah, really surprising everything that happened that was developed in this episode, because a lot of things I was not actually expecting. So yeah, let's see where the story goes now. The episode ends with them fighting the Archbishop. They got separated. I don't know if that will affect the way they fight or not, but let's see how strong the Archbishop is. He's supposedly the 11th out of the 12 Knights around. I don't know if being lower in the number affects how strong you are, because I mean, he's the 11th out of 12. So if the numbering actually affects how strong you are, he is one of the weaker ones. Then let's see if that is actually the case. I would assume that is the case, but I guess we'll figure out in the next episode. On the other side, we have Sid trying to get out of there with the witch. So yeah, a lot of things can happen in the next episode. I wonder if Shadow will actually reunite with the girls, you know, with Alpha, and actually meet Oriana and Alexia, or maybe they will stay separated, because it will actually be interesting if, you know, Shadow somehow ends up with Alpha and the other girls, because Alexia and Oriana will be there. It will be a fun interaction if that actually happens, but I don't know if that will actually happen, because right now they are separated. So yeah, I think that is everything important that happened in this episode. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.